No one in this world can you trust. Not men, not women, not beasts. This you can trust.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Glory of Golden State Gaming. I'm your host, SwampSwimmer, and with me, as always, the Edison to my Tesla, Vespasian.
Hey everybody, how you doing? That's a good one. I like that.
Hey, so we constantly have what did I call it? Our segment for the beginnings where we unqualified recommendations or unrequested recommendations. This is a pretty broad one. I'm just gonna jump it out there. The other night, since I moved to New York, the wife and I have been going to a bunch of Broadway shows, and we're really enjoying it. And actually, the other night we went and saw the Harry Potter Broadway show, which was, I'm not that huge of a Harry Potter fan, but it was pretty cool. It was fun. The story was good. The effects they had on stage, and I'm gonna leave it like they had a lot of special effects on stage, were really cool. So basically, my recommendation in this video is if you ever get a chance to visit New York City, go see a Broadway show. It's like this. It's nowhere else at least in the United States, really. Broadway's its own level of stage show in the United States, and I've realized I'm become really I really like not musicals, not opera, not music, but I really enjoy just on-stage dramas, like straight dramas. I had a great time. I was wondering if you have a favorite show you've seen you like, or maybe a standout performance, like stage performance.
Yeah, that's a good question. I have been to a few Broadway shows in my time, and I've enjoyed them. I think they're a lot of fun. My father-in-law is a big Broadway show advocate, so when we used to go visit him in New York, we would always go to one if we could find a babysitter. So yeah, definitely on the list. I also enjoy like the ballet. I think is also really good. My sister was in ballet like all of her young life, and so I like my mom and myself and my sister would go, and I don't know, I like the Nutcracker is super great around like the holiday time and like stuff like that. I think that it's I think that's a lot of fun too. You got to be secure in your masculinity, but otherwise it's a good time.
Oh man, you're really throwing me under the bus then. I have to admit, I've been to one ballet with a good friend of mine who's really into ballet. Ballet is it's just not my jam. It was just not entertaining for me. I'm definitely more into the drama stage shows. Yeah. But anyway, that's all here.
I think if you kind of appreciate what like ballet is like one of the most intense, sports.
Oh yeah, physically, planet, right? Physically, it's incredible. Yeah, it's an achievement.
If you kind of appreciate that. Like I watched my sister go up on point and stuff like that, like, and kind of like what it did to her feet and everything. Like I guess maybe there's sort of like an undercurrent of appreciation for what it takes to get there. It's like going to watch a sporting event combined with like the music and art and everything all together. Like I think all that wrapped together is pretty interesting, but I get it. It's also not quite as like maybe engrossing, as a drama for sure. But yeah, I love the Broadway shows. I know I'd like to go to more. We tried to go to Hamilton, but there was that like craze with the prices on that thing, and it didn't work out. But
I saw Hamilton in San Francisco, and it was truly amazing. It was really a fantastic. Yeah. But anyway, let's move on. Actually, I think you can think about this. Next intro we do, what high fantasy world would you like to see on the stage? So that's something to think about.
Great question.
Think about that. That'll be next. That'll be next intro. But let's get to the battle report. We are on to the second round of the challenge against Proxy Table Gaming over across the pond. We're currently winning overall by a little bit, but not a whole lot. And I am playing Lucky Sixes now. I'm continuing to play Saurian Ancients, and he's mixing it up, and he's playing Highborn Elves. This is directly after the 2023 update. So this is with the new dragons out of special, all that fun stuff. We end up playing Counter Thrust and Secure Target. Whoa, I didn't mean to do that. So on my list, I really wanted to try out the no character Saurian Ancient list. No characters at all. Because hey, it's the one army that can do it. So I've got the block of Caimans with the Obelisk of Collaboration, which is the Pack Hunter special rule. I can re-roll my charge range if I'm charging with someone else. I've got my Skink block, of course. I've got a unit of regular Skinks and a unit of Skink Hunters. The unit of regular Skinks is just a piece of chaff that I could also use as a scoring piece. I feel like I needed one more scoring piece, so I'd put that in. Then I have 6 Caiman Elders with great weapons in the Koro Stone. So that is the center of my leadership. My leadership 8 is coming out of the Caiman Elders, and also that's the BSB. The three Thyrus Cutis herds. These are with the Suncatcher crystals, with the new Suncatcher crystals. This is, they can either do a grind attack or other infantry in the same combat, friendly infantry in the same combat gets +1 fortitude save for every Thyrus in combat with them. So in theory, if my Skink Blender gets in with the Thyrus herd, they have a 3-up fortitude save.
Amazing. Wow. Pretty cool.
No one's running this, but it's interesting. Okay.
Never even seen it on a list. That's cool. Okay.
Then I've got the Thyrus.
Is it still around with the update or no?
I think so, but I'd have to double check. Then the Thyrus that goes in the Poison Blender block. Then I've got the 2 units of 6 Saurian Swarms scouting. These guys are awesome. Rerolling to hit, Poison AP 1, awesome. 15 Skink Girls with blowpipes, 2x2 spearbacks, and 2x3 pterodons with the marking lures.
What has the predator senses?
So the spearbacks, when they shoot, have predator senses, and the swarms have predator senses.
Okay. Yeah. No, this is you packed a lot of synergy in here. What's the phase like? Is it you got 1, 2, 3?
I just basically have
Enclave with
I have 3 Enclave Wizards, and the Caiman Elders get 2 spells. So I channel 1, 4 spells.
4 spells. Okay. Well, so pretty minimal there, though. Okay.
Yeah. And he decided to go all out.
That is pretty important.
Yeah, they are pretty important. Lucky Sixes decides to go all out in the dragon list. He's got the Ancient Dragon with the Wizard Hat and the High Prince on it, with Cleansing Light and a great weapon. He's got a High Prince Queen's Cavalier and a Griffin with a Nova Flare.
He was doing this list manually because New Recruit was not updated, and we pointed out that the Queen's Cavalier just needed to be on the Ancient Dragon. Basically, he can't go on the Griffin, but
it was a little flip.
Yeah.
Then he's got the Adept on Cosmo on the Giant Eagle, Essence of Mithril, 2 big blocks of Seaguard with Banner of Discipline, Sword Masters, and then the double Mage Adept Dragon out of Special, which is interesting, and then a unit of 5 Grey Watchers. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 kind of character or monster pieces running, single models running around, and then 2 blocks of Seaguard and a block of Sword Masters.
Yeah. So he tweaked the core around a little bit and the character builds a little bit, but this was basically his UK Masters list.
Yeah. I think this was his test for the UK Masters, yeah.
Yeah. Cool list. Definitely it's a particular play style. No BSB. Interesting.
All right, and then I forgot to mention this before, but we played this game in Warhol. If you're interested in playing the Ninth Age Online, check out Warhol. You know, it's pretty cool looking. But let's talk about my deployment. If I remember correctly, we went back and forth for a while, but he ended up dropping to go first. Yeah, because he got first turn. So for me, I've got the Thyroscreus here on the far left with the Skink Blender next to it. The Blowpipe Skinks in front of them, the Cayman Elders here with Skink Hunters in front of them as a chaff piece. Then a unit of Spearbacks next to the Core Caymans. And then the far right, I've got my 2 Scouting Swarm units, my 2 chaff pieces from the Pterodons, another unit of Spearbacks, and then in the back, I forgot why I put him here. He had the 1 unit of Scouts, so I put this unit back here to guard for Scouts, maybe? Oh no, I put it, I don't know why I put it there. This unit really doesn't do anything. I don't know why I didn't use it as a piece of chaff. I think I wanted the late game have it come around the building and take this flag that was right in front of the building.
Yeah.
That was my main reason for putting him there. I don't know if that was the right move or not, but he's got 1 unit of Sea Guard on the hill. He's got the Swordmasters behind the forest here. Behind that is one of the Magic Dragons. I think that's the Alchemy one. Then he's got the Ancient Dragon. He's got another unit of Sea Guards. He's got the Grey Watch. What are they called again? The
Grey Watchers.
Grey Watchers. Then he's got I think the Griffin. No, it's the Great Eagle behind them. The other dragon out of special on Pyromancy, and on the far right is the Griffin guy. So yeah, I felt like I wanted to get to this. I wanted to hold the right where the first flag was, and I wanted to push for this flag that's farther away from me, because I realized the only thing he has over there are these 2 big blocks, and my Skink Blenders and the Thyroscutuses can really get through them. That was my thought process. And then the swarms, I scouted them so they could set them up after his guys, and he had a lot of his single model characters guys over here on the right, and I knew that was the right matchup for them. Yeah, so that's it. That's deployment. Let's go over his first turn. He kind of pushes up in the center. He puts that Ancient Dragon kind of pushing right up the center, and he basically shoves all of his models into the center of the board. I mean, he puts the Swordmasters into the forest. This is the dragon facing out towards the flag here. Behind the Ancient Dragon is the Eagle Wizard.
Mage.
Yeah, the Mage, and the other dragon, and then his Nova Flare Griffin guys on the far right here.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't remember in the Magic and
did he get Druidism for the wizard hat? It's a lucky roll.
That's exactly what he got. He got Druidism. Let's see here. And then, bam. In his shooting phase, he does I don't know, not a whole lot of work. He puts 1 wound on the Cayman. The Skink Hunters that were in the front here get brought down to 3 guys, but don't panic. And he takes off a little over 2 bases worth of the swarms over here on the right.
What are your Spearbacks doing over there on the right?
Just they couldn't get out of the charge arc of this Griffin, and I know I didn't want him to charge them with the Griffin, but I wanted to shoot him for a round or 2, so I just stuck him over here and have them loop back into the center of the board in later turns. That was my thought process, and also give him a reason to not go on the flank again.
Got it. Okay.
I basically push up. I throw that chaff piece in front of the sword masters, the one that he whittled down the 3 guys. Put it up in front of the sword masters because they're done by now. And just push forward. I knew in all these cases he wasn't gonna hurt me, so I just push forward. Through the blowpipe guys here to try to throw some wounds onto the ancient dragon. That's about it. That's all that really happens in my first turn. Nothing too exciting. In the shooting phase, I think I put 3 wounds onto his ancient dragon with the poison shots, which is nice.
It's nice work.
And then I think that's the only real any damage I do in the shooting phase. But in his turn, in top of 2, he throws out some charges. And I didn't see this. This was my mistake. I turned my Cayman Ancients to the right a little bit here, and I gave him the flank to these, to the Sea Guard. It's a long charge, but he's re-rolling. I think maybe it was an 11 on dice, and he charged, and I'm like, I just can't take that charge, so I just fled from it. Then he charged these spearbacks with his ancient dragon. I fled, obviously. I think I also threw the 3 wounds I did on the ancient dragon. That was including the spearback shots. So that's where the 3 wounds came from.
Didn't they used to have a requirement that they couldn't flee? Did they take that out?
That was an old rule. It is gone now, which makes them even better.
Yeah.
He takes the charge.
Those forms.
Yeah, that's exactly what I want. I have another whole unit backing them up. This is kind of exactly what I want over here. So I'm good with that charge. Yeah, I think that's about all he does. He fails to charge over here. And I think I missed this next picture is I missed a phase here. So I'll back it up, and I take the charge with the Thyroscutuses into his flank. And I think I charge also with this unit, and they do make it in. I think they both make it in, crush him, these guys reform, and the Thyroscutuses pursue them and catch them.
Got it. Okay. It looks like he went through your snake swarm on the right, but took some wounds.
He took only 1 wound.
Okay.
Which was not ideal. But then he overran with both, but only the Griffin made it into the second unit of swarms, which is exactly that was a good roll for me too.
Yeah, that's lucky. And then you countercharge the ancient with your Caymans. Is that what happened here?
That's exactly what happened. You hit the nail on that. Look, notice he only has 2 wounds on him now. I think he healed a wound on himself somewhere in his magic phase. And I think that was... I lost a Pterodon unit somewhere there. Let me just think here. I don't know. I use him as chaff and then countercharge. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, I was really happy when one guy made it in and one guy didn't, because then it also gave the spearbacks a chance to shoot at the one that didn't make it into my second swarm unit.
Okay.
So this I feel very confident about this situation on the right here.
Did he want that Cayman versus Ancient Dragon fight? I feel like that's pretty swingy for him.
Yeah, I think it's swingy, but he wanted it.
All right.
Basically, I'm fishing for 6s. If I roll enough 6s, I'll kill him. But if not, he'll kill me. Let's see here. So in response, I don't break this unit. In fact, I stick.
Mm-hmm.
I think I did 0 wounds to him, and I stick. I'm pretty sure he beat me, and I was not steadfast here. And I think I just rolled well.
You would have been.
Yeah. Oh, because he's flying. Because he's flying, he doesn't have a rank. So that's the reason I stuck. So that's a bad option for me. So it's a bad day for the Cayman. He countercharges with the Swordmasters. On the right, In the first round of combat, I do 3 wounds to the Griffin Lord, which I needed 1 more. It's like, that's disappointing. I do 2 wounds because he had 1 wound on already with the spearback shooting into the dragon. So they're both down to 1 or 2 wounds left. And he decides to go all in on the... he still goes all in on the swarms.
Whoa. Risky.
Yeah, yeah. Of course, I rally...
We've got an initiate chaff movement up in the upper left.
And that's exactly... He didn't want these Thyrosudices going in the rear of the Swordmasters, so he chaffs with the dragon over here. And also I rally everything over here on the right, in the center of the board. Yeah, okay, let's go. Keep going into it. Okay, so this is a weird situation. So I go in with my Thyrosudices into the dragon. I lose combat over here, and I actually... It was a weird situation. I lost combat. I was down to 3 wounds. These 2 guys left. I fled. He decided to stay with the big dragon and I think he stayed with both, and then I rolled like a 2 to
remember
flee.
this part. He did stay with both because he was worried about the charge. Basically, he figured out that he could set it up so that you wouldn't be able to charge with the big Cayman unit if he didn't pursue. So he stayed.
Yeah, yep. That's exactly where.
Because you were wide, and there was something about the wheel where he figured out that you wouldn't be able to make it in, basically.
Yeah.
So then he stayed. You reformed in the following turn.
So it's pretty cool. I didn't lose that unit. That unit's still alive. I still have the Cayman Ancients on the right. He kills my Swarms, but I end up getting the last wound on the Griffin Lord. I think he just... Yeah, he got me with a bunch of breath weapon, basically. And he blows through. But then I move around with my weapon beasts to shoot him up again, hopefully take him off the board with this round of shooting. And I do rally these guys. I think in the first round of combat with his dragon and the Thyrosudices, I go all crush attack. And I think I missed with both of them or something. I didn't win combat, but I stuck. Okay. I don't even know what turn we're on now. So what he does is he decides he's gonna go into the flank of my Thyrosudices with his Ancient. And he went for a long-ish charge with his Swordmasters into my Skink Blunder. And I think he was really gambling here because if he doesn't make it with the Swordmasters, which he didn't do, I basically have a free charge into his Ancient now with my Poison Block, which is going to kill the Ancient really quick.
Yeah. I don't think he had a great... He didn't have great options there. I think his better option was to just bug out with the Ancient Dragon and sort of bring the Swordmasters back and face him at all of your units. But I think maybe he was worried that if he did that, the Thyros might finish off the Initiate and just like dogpile him. So I don't know that he had a great set of options here.
I really think the Swordmasters into the flank is a better option. Like charging these Swordmasters into flank of the Thyrosudices. But that was his prerogative. In my shooting phase, I do get that last wound off of the Initiate over here on the right. So basically now the right...
Is his Eagle Mage still around? I'm not seeing him.
That happened right here in this phase. He blew himself up. I don't remember what he was casting, but he blew himself up. So, that's always fun. That's always fun. He goes in there, and I honestly don't remember what happens over here. He doesn't break my Thyrosudices. And I go for a charge into his flank of this big dragon, and that's going to be the end of it. That's going to be the end of the dragon, I think.
You didn't try to, reform and pull back? I'm surprised.
So there was a weird thing here. I forgot what he was doing. No, he did pull back. Look at the distance. He was here, and now he's into the forest, and I could still make it in.
Got it.
I was confident I was going to break him, so I didn't care about chaffing the Swordmasters. And basically, I start surrounding this Sea Guard unit to try to shoot it off the board. And I think I'm down. I can't see it because it's behind the huge dragon wings, but I think I'm down to one last Thyroscutus. I did kill the Initiate with the crush attacks in the second round of combat. Oh, I have 2 guys left over there. And of course, I blow up the dragon, and he turns to face me. And I think at this point, I'm at least tying him on the right with this this flag here. The flag on the left, I have it completely covered. At this point, I think we call it, because at this point, I charge the rear of his Swordmasters with my Ancients, and I keep whittling down this unit. I keep whittling down this unit until it's gone. And I can't remember. This was super late at night, so I don't remember the specifics, but we added up what was left on the board. Ended up being a 15 for me.
Right.
So we're maintaining our lead in the challenge. The Americans are winning against the Brits. But what did you think of the game in total? What do you think about deployment?
Good question. I mean, I think that it's his list is. I don't really like that he's sort of like spread out like that.
Yeah.
I feel like he's got to like kind of try to work on a force concentration perspective, right? Like he needs to bring multiple flyers into something threatening all at once, finish it off like decisively. And I feel like the way that he like kind of his first turn move and his deployment, ended up with just like a little bit of a piecemeal. Like he didn't. I also don't love that swarm charge. I feel like he was just asking to lose the Griffin and the other thing is he has those Sea Guard, which are a perfect thing to fight swarms, right? You don't care about them as much, and they kill swarms pretty much just as effectively as a Griffin, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like if I had been him, what I would have liked to have seen would have been something along the lines of like you start pulling everything over to the left where you're clearly a little bit weaker, and try to push the objective and sort of collapse on one flank, basically. Like I think maybe, but it's tough. There's no good answers because you can counter deploy the swarms perfectly if against what he does. So I don't know that there's a perfect answer.
Yeah. Were you pleased with my deployment?
There's something that I think that people often underestimate. Like there's sort of an established wisdom of like, oh, if you put your secure target on the other side of a house, it's harder for your opponent to get to it. But I think board positioning of the secure target is probably more important than that, because for a list like his, you have so much more bodies and so much more robust and resilient scoring than he does. I think that I would want to try to have the flags as far apart as possible and try to, go for a draw, right?
That's,
this way,
the
battle's happening in like the center 24-inch box, of the board, and I feel like then, I think that your list has the advantage in that kind of a fight in like a scrum in the middle, which is what ended up happening, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. All right. The last game in the second round of the challenge will be you against Hyper G, and we'll see how that goes. Probably in a week, I think that's when it's released. But thanks for watching, everyone. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks, everybody.